Gimel Mishnah Beis. The second Mishnah of the third Perek of Shabbos is a little bit easier than the first one. The first one is, as we mentioned, is subject to the Machlokus of Chananya and Rabbanan, how to interpret the Mishnah. The second Mishnah now just discusses two other types of ovens and contrasts it, if you like, to the oven that we spoke about in the first Mishnah. The first Mishnah we spoke about a kira. A kira is a rectangular oven, and it has room on the top for two pots. Inside you can either put straw and stubble, which doesn't create a lot of heat, or you put the more common, I guess, gefes, which is the refuse of olives or of sesame, or you put eitz and you put wood in it. The Mishnah now discusses a tanur. A tanur is a cone-shaped oven which creates much more intense heat because it sort of rises towards the focal points where there's one pot. Or we're going to discuss a kupach. A kupach is a square oven which has room for one pot. It hasn't got the same intensity of heat as the tanur, but it is hotter than the kira that we spoke about in the first Mishnah because it's smaller and it's more compact. So the Mishnah says as follows: Tanur shehisikuha bakash uvugvava. A tanur, i.e. the cone-shaped oven, which is very, very hot, shehisikuha bakash uvugvava, which has been fueled by kash and vava, by straw and stubble, lo yitain bein mitochu bein me'al gabov. You cannot put anything either inside it or on top of it. Why? Because we're worried that the heat is so hot, even if you only use an inferior source of fuel, the kash and the gvava, the Bartanura says, chashinon shemeyechete, we still are concerned, maybe you'll stoke it. Why? Because you haven't fully removed your mind from it. Okay. That continues the Mishnah. Kupach, an oven which is a square oven, which is less hot than the tanur, but it's sort of in between the tanur and the kira. If it was fueled with straw and stubble, harizek kiraim, it has the din of a kira, and therefore it's mutter, you're allowed to place things on top of it. But gefes or eitzim, if however it has been fueled with gefes or eitzim, with olive refuse, or with eitzim or with wood, harihu katanur, it has the din of a tanur. Says the Bartanura, kupach, osu kakira, and she'archu karachva, it's square, ve'ein be'elamokum sfisas kaderachas, it only has room for one pot on it, v'ha'esha veres tachteho v'havolu rak, rav mehevel akira, it's much hotter than the oven, than the heat of a kira, sha'akira pasucha milmala, because the kira is a rectangular oven, which is open up at the top. Shir shtei kaderes, because it's got room for two pots on it. V'hakupach ein pasuach ele shir kadera achas, or pasuach mehevel hatanur. So therefore, we make a sort of a halfway house. In respect to kash and gvava, it's considered like a kira, but in respect to gefes and eitzim, if it's fueled with gefes and eitzim, we treat it like a tanur, and therefore we would say lo yitain bein mitochu bein me'al gabov. Then you would not be able to place anything whether inside or on top of it. That is the end of the second Mishnah of the third. Just as an addendum to the second Mishnah of the third Perek, the ArtScroll Mishnayos bring the halacha regarding our present-day ovens, and he says that our present-day ovens, of course, have the openings on the side. We open the oven from the side, and it's the shaila is, what status does it have compared to the three ovens that we've been discussing till now? So he says like this: our present-day ovens have their openings on the sides. Their heat is not as intense as the oven of the Mishnah, i.e. the kira of the Mishnah, which is of the tanur of the Mishnah, which is the cone-shaped tanur, nor as the kupach, which is the single stove. As a result, our ovens are most comparable to the double stove, to the kira, and therefore these laws apply to them. That's the Ramah in Shulchan Aruch in Siman Reish Nun Gimel Halacha Aleph. Similarly, the tops of our gas ranges and electric stoves are considered the double oven. That's Igros Moshe in Erechaim Chelik Aleph Siman Tzadi Gimel, and also Chelik Daled Siman Ayin Daled Chavov. And therefore the custom is to place a blech, which is like the Yiddish for a sheet of metal, over the burners, and thereby covering the flame. The blech on our stoves is considered the equivalent of covering the coals with ashes.